Harvey, and grand to welcome him back is the Dipper. Welcome, Dipper.
Thank you very much, Andy, and good evening, boys. After warm conditions on the weekend, we've got a beautiful cool breeze coming across the ground at the moment, making the conditions very pleasant for the players. And KB knows and Terry Wheeler knows, Sandy, that pre-season is an important time for players to think about what sort of year they had the year before, if it's injuries or bad form. And I know Hawthorn have been going since October, and they're very desperate to win this game. Of course, St.Kilda have kept the big four, and only a couple of weeks ago played very well. So we're looking forward to a tough game here tonight.
Yes, thank you, Dipper. It should be, and a warm welcome to the veteran of 403 games and 778 goals. King KB, welcome KB.
Thanks very much, Sandy. Looking forward to St. Kilda's performance tonight against Hawthorn. Big improvements towards the end of the year, the Saints.
Yes, they certainly will. Well, it's going to be Vidovic who'll probably get first touch because Salmon was caught on the other side of the ground. Winmar threw strongly, couldn't take the football cleanly. Support from Harvey. Winmar in there again at the bottom of the pack. They pounce on him. Nicky Winmar, club champion, and they'll be looking again for another big year. Paul Salmon wearing the number 4 Guernsey here for the Hawks. Andy Collins couldn't take it. Going in strongly for St Kilda was Rod Keogh at the bottom. Another bounce. Down there with him, Jason Cripps wearing 36. Pritchard has Winmar. Burke sends St Kilda down towards full force, down towards low. Comes back towards Everett. He doesn't like the attention from McGuinness, but the whistle has sounded. It's going to come back, and it's going to be a Hawthorn free kick.
Well, Stuart Lowe is certainly the danger man in this game. Lightning premiership between these two sides. Lowe kicks for 6 goals and looking very dangerous early, moving well.
So Holland takes the free kick. Norwich Rising Star of last year. It's been marked by Crawford. Rod Keogh on the mark. Crawford, such an important player for Hawthorn. Missed a number of games last year. At ground level, young Hargraves handballs out to himself. Winmar does well to Harvey. So the two veterans put the Saints across the ground where we see young Tony Brown wearing the famous Danny Frawley number to Zilla. So the Saints inside 50 and Big Everett. Very impressive he was also in the Lightning Premiership, Terry.
He certainly gives that extra option up forward, up tall with Everett and Lowe. Lowe playing down in the goal square. Certainly have got a good goal-to-goal line up there in that forward line.
And looks like he's bulked up a fair bit. Still wearing the Geronimo headband. But what an important player he is now to St Kilda with Tony Lockett up in Sydney. And high flyer is Low from behind. So the crumb at ground level is Brown, caught. So the Saints a chance. But a free kick to Hawthorn.
To be taken by Crawford. Saints have done the bulk of the attacking. He comes wide towards Pritchard on the Platten, almost down the centre wing, and the Rat will have a look down towards half forward. Johnny Platten in the veteran class now finds Hargraves. Good strong mark in front. Puts the Hawks towards Dunstall. Fine spoil by Shanahan, who comes charging out to find Pritchard in front of him, and the football that's over the line.
Great piece of play there from Jamie Shanahan. He's really going to take control of this St Kilda backline now in the absence of Danny Frawley, and certainly the spoil was very, very well done.
Adelaide, of course, big winners last night, and the Hawks will miss Jarman. But it's a whole new ball game without him now. Dean Anderson picks himself up against his old side. 25 degrees, and it may drop down to 16. Fine, and just light winds. Socket off the ground. Back towards the centre we go once again. No one able to take it cleanly. Cooper had it for a moment and lost it. Cripps goes up towards the 50-metre line. Everett comes out. He's got it now, but he's in trouble. He needs assistance. Puts the handball over the top towards Nicky Winmar. Winmar goes back inside 50 once again. They've still got possession, but they're mucking around with it. They're trying to find something. Lowe gets the hand pass away. Puts Harvey under pressure. Back to Lowe. But eventually, they lose it.
Well, the Saints struggling across that half-forward line at the moment as Holland, for Hawthorn, takes a leisurely bounce. The drive inside 50. Kicking's a problem for Nick Holland. That's an area he has to really work on. Nathan Burke for the Saints. Holland can mark, does well. Showed courage there, but at ground level, picked up by Ozzie Jones. Back to Keogh. Keogh's a beautiful kick, and he finds Stewie Lowe. Playing long way down from the ground, goal square, Terry, tonight.
Yes, interchanging there with Peter Everett. It's a bit of a nod and a wink between the two big men.
Well, even if you're 6'10", you've got to play in front. But Zilla, Crumbs, ground level, quick snap for the Saints. Been marked by Jenkins. So transfers out wide. He's got Platten out there as well as Crawford. Platten across half-back. The 1-2 back to Crawford. Not quite certain what to do with it. Gives it back to Platten, trying to run the ball to Hawks. Puts the ball down. High flyer down there was Wakeland. Couldn't get it. Crummell playing his first game. The former Eagle and also Fremantle Docker. And Stevenson marks for Hawthorn.
Outside 50. But Shane Stevenson will head towards Dunstall. Can't complete the mark. And the throw in the left forward pocket. New look pockets, Terry, here at Waverley.
They have, Sandy. That's some 7.5 metres taken off the end of each end of the ground, trimming it down by the total of 15. And those square pockets, I'm not really sure whether it's something we really need in our game.
Scoring not easy at the moment. The kick is high in towards Dunstall. Shanahan defends, and one behind goes on the board.
So the Hawks now starting to get a bit of a push into the forward line. Jason Taylor at centre-half forward isn't giving them enough just yet. They haven't done anything through him, and they've been forced to go longer towards Dunstall. The centre-half forward really does need a bit of a pick-up for the Hawks just at the moment.
Justin Peckett brings it back into play. This goes short. St Kilda, it was Lowe last time who booted 6, who set up their win. Oh, Winmar, the fly from behind. Not successful. Salmon was in front of him. Hawthorn go down towards their half-forward line once again. Hargraves takes the mark. Still outside 50 is Tim Hargraves. Kicks into the man on the mark. And that player was Jason Cripps. Still with possession, however. Hawthorn through Jason Taylor. Had possession, have now lost it. Anderson wants to give it across. Does so. Goes over the top towards Zilla. St Kilda away. Up towards Everett on the 50. Big Peter Everett lumbers after it. Can he pick it up? He's got it cleanly now. Tries to flick it round his body with the left foot. Clean bowls everyone. And eventually taken over the line. Stuart Lowe poses the question, but the boundary umpire will come across. 30 metres around from St Kilda's scoring zone, and a throw-in to take place.
So Hawthorn, with just that solitary point, leads St Kilda. Everett in the ruck against Salmon. Everett wins the tap. Ozzie Jones for St Kilda. Joel Smith trying to crash his way through. Big snap for the Saints. And brings up their first score of the night. See Tony Brown. Danny Frawley said he just got goosebumps watching someone else wearing his number 2 jumper in the paper today, Terry.
Yeah, Danny's certainly been a fine player, and it's a great accolade for young Tony Brown to take that jumper.
So McGuinness, veteran of the Hawthorn side, finds Platten, so they've got the loose man going now. Platten elects to go back, unusual for him. Sets it up though through Crawford. Half forward, the loose man once more. Here's a chance for Crummell. He's marked on 50. He's had a couple of goes at league football. First with the Eagles, then with the Dockers. He's had a few injuries though. Dunstall looking to have a much better year than last year. Booted 66 goals. Poor tally for someone who's kicked 1,077. But he says he's all fired up.
I think he is too. Let's have a look at him then.
Crummell from right on 50. Hargraves from behind for Hawthorn. Knocked through by Wakeland for St Kilda.
Don't know if that's a good approach there. It was just too slow by Brendan and Crummell. And what the Hawks haven't got, they haven't got a real spring heel in that forward line. There's no one there who's going to jump over the top, take a big grab. Perhaps as Stuart Lowe is showing that he can do it the other end of the ground. So that ball needed to come in a lot quicker.
Just the one Wakeland playing tonight, that's Darrell, as Peckett brings it back into play once again. St Kilda having trouble scoring, and Rod Keogh gets them away back towards the outer wing. Good strong mark taken by Glenn Coughlin. Coughlin will head towards centre wing. Elects to go short, finds Dean Anderson. Pretty good crowd now at Waverley. Come to see these two sides. St Kilda promising much early on. Everett gets the hand pass out. Here's a chance now for the Saints through Nathan Burke. will let one go from the defensive side of centre, puts them inside 50. No one able to take the mark. I need the player there doing the scouting work. He was unable to pick it up. Eventually it's picked up by Brown, who gets the hand pass away in towards goal and slams it into the woodwork. Goes Harvey for one behind.
Well, here's the danger player in this side for St Kilda, and the way in which he went about his work in the Lightning Premiership. Andy Collins is the man with the job, and there's Ken Judge, probably now stepping up from the Lightning Premiership to the Ansett Cup, and the heat gets on as you go up, Ken, I can tell you, mate.
There's the big fish. Paul Salmon just calling for it, but it goes short to Cooper. So Hawthorn creating the loose man across half-back. Jenke dropped last year to reserves, which was most unusual. Been a tremendous player for Hawthorn. Flatten on hands and knees. That's not unusual. Burke being dispossessed. That is. Taken by Taylor. Back to Pritchard. So Hawthorn trying to force it forward. Crummel across half forward. It's interesting, Terry, with Robert Harvey hitting the post there. He's not a goal kicker. Only 10 goals last year. Only some less than 80 goals in his career. And I think for St Kilda, they've got to get more goal kickers, particularly from their smaller players. Taylor. Can take it for Hawthorn. Ozzie Jones. Oh, got one hard there from Andy Collins. And we've got a ball up virtually on the edge of the centre square.
A good back pocket there, Andy Collins. Nice and hard. Some 167 consecutive games in the premiership season for the club with Hawthorn. A tremendous player and has no second gear. It's always flat out.
Yeah, has been a great player for them. Taylor through. Keogh at the bottom. Hangs on to it for a long time, trying to get rid of it. Waitman was held. Zilla's away. The advantage is called. Away goes Zilla up towards half forward. That's better. Stuart Lowe's inside 50. Wants to go on with it. Was it the best option? That is what St Kilda fans are asking now as Jenke puts himself over the ball. And a bounce to take place. Darren Starcevich coming in to take over. There's McGuinness. Everett with the headband. Just the 4 points scored so far for the night. Everett tries to come over the top of Salmon. That is a very big ask because he's a big boy. Taken towards the boundary line was Joel Smith. Doing a bit of wrestling with Daniel Harford. The Hawks have high hopes for him too. There's unfortunate news for Hudson, who broke a toe during training this week. That is why he is sidelined tonight.
You mentioned young Harford. He was a very promising player last year. Looked like he was one of their best young players coming through. That was a poor play. Across the ground, taken by Lowe. Back to Winmar. Chance for the Saints in the square. Round up high for a small guy. Punched through by the Hawks defence. Paul Salmon there. Wants to do more work in the ruck. Certainly he'll get it at Hawthorn. Has his detractors. Personally, I think he's been a tremendous player. Jenke. Long raking handball to Holland, who's running off. Stuart Lowe. Can he do something with his kicking? It's a poor one. Not directed. Luck support to the back of the pack. Stevenson can kick a goal. Not this time. So poor kicking by both sides. St Kilda trail by 1 point. In fact, scores a level now, 3 behinds each. Hawthorn supporter. Still shaking her head at that bad miss of Stevenson.
Justin Peggott bring it back into play for the Saints. Still waiting for our first goal of the night. He goes straight down the middle, pinpoints Nicky Winmar, who's keen to get on with it. He's got time and he's got a bit of space, so he heads towards the 50. Graham was there, so too Cooper. It's the ladder who tidies up and goes towards the outer side. And Taylor, short little chip over the top, is going to be okay. Now they've got a chance to run. Crawford sets up the hand pass. Collins is there with him, and so too Kaplan. In towards Dunstall. That's the way he likes it delivered.
That is absolutely sensational. Some great work, quick hands on the wing there between Crawford and Collins coming through, eventually with Kaplan. This is one of the real strengths of Darren Kaplan. It's been a very good pickup, even though at 31 years of age. this man can still use the ball on the run, and Jason Dunstall, he'll look forward to a lot more of that this year.
He's kicked 113 goals in pre-season footy. There is the lightning left footer Darren Kepler. Hawthorn 4 points, St.Kilda 3.
One of the reasons he was recruited, Kepler, simply because of his kicking ability. Towards the end of last year, the disposal by the Hawthorn players to Dunstall was pretty ordinary. Pickett can raffle this, and so he kicks it out wide to Cripps. Jason Cripps played reserves last year for the Saints. Play on, says the umpire. So now he'll show us a turn of speed.
He's good.
Got no one to kick it to. Jenke will get there first and goes over the top to Graham. Gives it back to the big fish onto the left boot.
Good work. Good work from the big man.
So Taylor out wide. Hargraves needed a kind bounce. Keogh does the shepherding. Hargraves does the knocking over the boundary line.
Jason Cripps unlucky not to get a free kick there. I thought it was definitely was behind after the ball. Here it is. It goes out of bounds. Cripps just eases up that fraction, taken out of it then.
Salmon. Rod Keogh climbs off the ground. Got the job there looking after Johnny Platten. So Hawthorn by a point. Yet to have a goal scored. Platten burrows in over the top of the ball. Untidy passage of play. Another ball up.
Kevin, I think both coaches would be disappointed that there hasn't been goals kicked here. The conditions are tremendous. There is some good build-up and good run from both sides, but just the forward lines haven't been able to capitalise on it, and the defences by both sides have been good and strong.
Salmon comes over the top of Vidovic. Wakelet's kick partly smothered. Clever tap on here will assist Nicky Winmar. That was good play from Aussie Jones. Down towards full forward. Lowe thought about giving it on towards Peter Everett, but now he'll go back. And he should post the first goal of the night.
Very lucky man, though, Sandy. This is about the third occasion he's come from behind. This time he's fortunate enough to have the extra inches in reach to be able to take it out of Nick Holland, but really needs to be in front more often.
An excellent tap on from Aussie Jones to give it across to Nicky Winmar. Stuart Lowe. Oh, well, he starts it way right, but he's done it.
St.Kilda by 5 points, and there's many good judges who believe that Lowe should kick 100 goals if he plays a full season full forward. Certainly he's got the ability to do so, as Bardsley for the Saints. Cross half back. Jenke tackled by Coughlin. Aussie Jones needs a bounce. Burke, quick hands back to Coughlin. Can't handle. Caught. Look at Burke. Burrows back. Salmon does well, but Brown for St. Kilda. They got the numbers around the ball. The tackling's ferocious. Great play. Here's young Harford. Looking for Dunstall. Shanahan will punch from behind. Dunstall in front. He's always in front. Shanahan does well. Bardsley will do the shepherding. Anderson taps towards the line. Dunstall keeps the ball in. Great forward play. Back to Dunstall. The skipper showing the way for the Hawks. The relieving mark has been taken in that last line by Jamie Shanahan.
Sensational leadership there from Jason Dunstall, keeping the ball alive on the boundary line, giving his side a chance in front of goal.
So Jones. Bad hand pass, not taken by Bardsley. Must hit the targets. Cooper. Hargraves for Hawthorn. Shanahan's back. To Cripps. Back to Laser-Vidovic. Once more, poor ball handling. It's a chance for the Hawks. Platten, they're going to raffle it. Left boot, Platten. Can't get there. And once more, after a comedy of errors, punch through for one behind.
With all respect to Laser-Vidovic, you don't handball to the big blokes in defence. That's not their task. They're not the fleet of foot ones. If a smaller player has got it, he's the one that should do the kicking. And they nearly come unstuck badly there.
Under 5 minutes remaining. Justin Peggett will kick in. And it's St Kilda with a slender lead. His target was Anderson. He applies the tackle on Brendan Crummell. And a throw in from this extraordinary left pocket. Vidovic over the top. Anderson down in front. Can St Kilda get out of this and start something? Tony Brown certainly hopes so. Almost gets sandwiched and almost loses the football. Peckett had it and then had to go back and get it again, but he was too late because Pritchard nipped in. Kicks down towards full forward. Dunstall couldn't get there in time, and the mark is taken by Christian Bardsley. Bardsley to half back. And he finds Aussie Jones, who goes sideways. Just the one goal kicked so far tonight, extraordinary as it may seem. Keogh charges out of defence. Rod Keogh almost down to the centre. Heads towards the 50-metre line. Peter Everett caught at the bottom of the pack. Collins, an underground hand pass is going to be effective. Salmon lopes away. The Hawks are out of trouble through McGuinness. And now they've got a chance to go with Kapler. Had it for a moment. Gave it to Taylor. Back down towards centre wing and Kapler again. The left foot is clear. He kicks high. Up towards the 50. Stevenson is there. Can't take the marks. And Kilda have the numbers. And Vidovic's away.
Wakeland takes the mark. Cross half back. Both defences on top. Everett, the target. Never got his hands on the ball. Pritchard. It's towards the boundary line. We have a boundary throw-in.
Kevin, some hardy applause there for Darren Pritchard coming back to the side after breaking a leg last year. One of the players at Hawthorn did so much miss during the second half of last season.
So Salmon does a bit of the shepherding, allows McGuinness to get the ball back here. That's a free kick to Jenky. So Ken Judge trying to revive the Hawthorn spirit. 15th last year. First time they missed the final since 1981. So all those young Hawthorn supporters just couldn't believe it. The old ones could. Gibson down to Dunstall. Collins at the foot of the pack. Got a chance to kick a goal. Minor score.
Hawthorn just really don't have that alternative in around the full forward line to Jason Dunstall. Dunstall was forced to come well out then, out around the 50-metre line, fed back to Collins, but no one for him then to deliver the ball onto as in the second wave full forward.
2.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Peckett is told, come on, bring him back into play, and he does to Jamie Shanahan. Shanahan looks down towards centre wing. Harvey's lurking there. Wakeland. There you can see these interestingly shaped pockets. There's Jason Cripps marks. Now at St Kilda, they feel he's one of the fittest at the club at this stage of proceedings, which is great for the youngster as McGuinness gets the hand pass away. Pritchard has a chance to run. Wobbles a punt down towards full forward, but straight onto the chest of Shanahan.
It's time for Paul Salmon now to go into the forward pocket in behind Dunstall and get someone else to do some running around in the ruck work. Hawthorn just won't score a goal the way they're structured at the moment.
Well, Nicky Winmar can't believe that. Daniel Harford can. Burke has courage, but steaming down to take the mark is Hargraves.
Well, this is a good setup here, and someone just said that they won't kick a goal with the structure they've got, and probably be turned around and shown to be wrong here. But Hargraves in a very good position, space to lead into, took the advantage of it.
Directly in front, and from 40 metres, Tim Hargraves drop punt is straight through the middle.
Hawks by 3 points. He's a goal kicker, young Hargraves. I think he's got a future. Hawthorn. And you'll see Harvey. He's had a great influence on the game so far. To Burke. Goes short. Front was Coughlin. Couldn't take it. Graham. He can be very attacking across half back. and the big fish. He's done quite okay too, Terry.
Oh, definitely, and he'll be enjoying this run around for sure.
So he's gone backwards. In fact, he's transferred the play to the outer side of the ground. Young Gibson takes it, goes short and finds Pritchard. Hawthorn have been able to create the loose man, particularly out wide. They've used the ball well. McGuinness into 50. Dunstall's in front. Has the free kick. Shanahan there. Might have been complaining for holding on. But we can see the arm there right around Dunstall.
Well, once Jason Dunstall gets in front, it's going to be a very, very strong man to move him, and even Jamie Shanahan wasn't able to do on that occasion.
So he should kick a goal here, Dunstall. He's a dead-eye Dick, and he's kicked it. And it's an interesting contest when you've got Dunstall kicking 1,077 goals in his career, and Shanahan has never kicked a goal in league football.
So you don't think we'll see Jamie Shanahan move to full forward during the game. But, yeah, and he's really taken it on, Jamie Shanahan, and been very, very strong right throughout. But Dunstall, as we mentioned, a low return last year from him, and he'd certainly be looking for this particular competition, Ansett Cup, to be an important one for him.
Just seconds remaining in this first quarter. Can Winmar get it down for St Kilda? He gives it across to Burke. Well, they've got an opportunity here in the dying seconds as Gibson and Harvey head away. It was Robert Harvey's kick that goes down to full forward. One behind is registered. So at quarter time, the honours are with Hawthorn on the scoreboard. Robert Harvey was relatively quiet by his standards in this first quarter. Jason Dunstall coming into the game, but both sides off target as Stan Alves comes out to meet the Saints. Stuart Lowe, their only goal kicker, and he has one so far tonight, whilst for Hawthorn, Jason Dunstall and Tim Hargraves are their contributors on a warm night here in Melbourne. Dunstall does look very fit. He's done a good pre-season and is hoping to lead the side to bigger and better things. I'm sure that Nicky Winmar, Robert Harvey, Rod Keogh and co will be keen to come back, though, in the second quarter. Quarter time at Waverley. Hawthorn 2-6-18. St Kilda a 1-4-10.
There'll never be a better game than the game we have today.
Cup really does warm up. Things are warming up for Ken Judge, and from one Hawthorn champ to another former champ, Dipper. What do you think of the first quarter, Dip?
Oh, what a tough game that was. I mean, really, for the viewers at home, it is a very quick game down here, and it's set up across the half-back lines for both sides. They're both looking for their full forwards, such as Dunstall and Lowe, and to try and make space for them, but it is a really, really quick game. Now, Ken Judge was very happy with the endeavour of the Hawthorn players. He believes they should have been in front of that quarter, and he's asked for a special effort again for the second quarter, Sandy.
Thanks, Dipper. Just about set for a start in the second term. The Hawks by 8 points, and a rejuvenated Paul Salmon sets them going out of the centre. Or socket off the ground by Zilla down towards Everett, who couldn't quite get in front. Hawthorn a chance to steady once again and go back towards centre wing. No mark taken. Play on is the call, however, as Shannon Gibson keeps it in play for the Hawks. Goes up towards the champion. He can't take it. Shanahan is there. Back to Gibson on 50, who kept on running down. And this time he finds his mark, and it is taken by Shane Crawford.
Sandy, Hawthorn really looked to struggle along early. They didn't have much run and flow in their game, but late in that first quarter, the two quick goals, and they've been able to come back out now and be able to regenerate their run. Players running onto the ball there, and Shannon Gibson did that so very well.
Crawford. A chance for the biggest lead of the night. Well, it wasn't a very pretty kick. Lead out to 9 points, and as his teammates from the bench do some loosening up, Crawford heads back and Peckett will bring it back into play.
So Peckett, who's been the designator kicker tonight for the Saints, now he gets a warning, goes very short to Keogh. So So Keogh waits for the loose man. He finds it in Winmar. Now Winmar also holding up play, just looking for that opening. Now he decides to kick the ball long. Good body work there by Harvey. Gets it back to Peckett, who's come all the way down from full back. That's great play by Peckett and finds Coughlin. So the kid from Kyabram, just outside 50. He's got Everett down there, also low on a lead. Great play.
Great use of the ball there from St.Kilda. They waited a lot, they picked the right opportunity, but their foot passing was so exceptional with the 4 deliveries down the ground, and now it's finished up with Stuart Lowe, chance his second goal. Yeah, a Lowe playing in front there, but it all started with Justin Peckett being able to get the first kick-off off and create the run.
So Stewie Lowe, 1 goal to his name. It's a fairly tough angle.
I was going to say, did you back him from there, KB?
No, I wouldn't. But this looks a good kick off the boot. Just hits the post. It was a good attempt then by Lowe because it was a tough angle.
Sandy, while you were away at the golf, that was worth 3 points in the Lightning Premiership, and I think it's something we could well consider.
Oh, no.
Don't confuse me. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. A couple of rule changes that certainly made fascinating talking points. But we're about to get down to the serious stuff now. Strong clash between Jenke and Tony Brown. Very strong. Gibson gesticulating on the last line of defence. Shannon Gibson. Comes to half-back. He'll go over the head of Paul Salmon and Lazar Vidovic. Kept in play by Zilla. This is high. It's very high. Waiting down, the youngster. That was Aussie. Now an opportunity for St Kilda through Keogh. It's a high kick by Rod Keogh to Lowe. Can't take the mark. And another behind goes on the ball.
Very good work there from Scotty McGuinness. He was surrounded by the tall timber. He had Everett covered and then Lowe coming in from behind him, but just enough to get the hand of the ball and force it through for a force behind.
16 effective scoring shots, and we've had only 3 goals. As Kaplar goes towards centre wing and over the line. Well, you look at that number 11 and players that could use a football for Hawthorn, and one G. Buccanara springs to mind, doesn't he?
Certainly has, and the loss of Darren Jarman. There's been many great Hawthorn midfielders who've been able to feed Jason Dunstall over the years.
Yep.
Might be one of the, the reasons you get number 11 at Hawthorn. You've got to be a good kick.
I wonder what Crawshay says about number 23.
No, you've got to be tough to wear that number. Salmon against Vidovic. Salmon down to Platten. I think we'll see that many times this year. The free kick has been given here, and it will go to Johnny Platten, vice-captain of the Hawks. So they lead by 7 points. And Jason Taylor, who was a disappointing player last year for Hawthorn. His marking power wasn't there across half-forward. So you need a lift from him this year. Shanahan will paddle this towards the boundary line. Right on 50 for a boundary throw-in for Hawthorn. Van Elves ready to bark instructions as the car salesman, Lazar Vidovic, takes the front position. Harvey feeds it off to Burke. He finds Zilla, who was just terrific for the Saints last year.
Yes, Stephen Zilla. Back towards centre wing. Back towards Coughlin territory. Johnny Platten caught one on the top of the scone then. It didn't worry him. Collins is in there working hard, so too Graham. Eventually comes out the back door towards Keogh and Peckett. The former takes it, puts Burke under pressure. Platten may get another chance or leave it for Graham. He does. And Graham's away. Centering kick in towards half forward. Good kick. Dunstall in front of Shanahan takes the mark.
A tremendous kick from Mark Graham there. I thought he should have perhaps used his right foot, but he had the presence of mind to know that he had that little bit of time just to straighten up. As we see, he's running around onto the arc onto the right foot. Should have used it, but had the presence of mind, had that little bit of space, straightened up, slotted it right in the hole.
Jason Dunstall, 1 goal tonight. 114 in pre-season competition, and the champion of the game. Close that one, who's taken it towards the left and one behind. The Hawks back to an 8-point lead midway during the second term. Justin Peckett ambles back. Fit-looking Nathan Burke offers him a lead. He goes straight down the middle, however, and Rod Keogh takes a strong mark. Keogh from half back. Kicks to a congested centre line. And the ironical cheers go up from the St Kilda fans. Lazovidovic from the middle of the ground goes towards Everett. Up a fraction before acceptances. Cooper's kick is high. Across half-back. Platten's got to give chase. It's going to have to be quick because Keogh is there and he tries to chop him out, but the rat has got him.
Very good work. The tackler well rewarded there for his efforts, being able to push in, apply the tackle, and Keogh just taking the ground with the ball. Once the player's taking the ground with the ball hits the ground, that's dropping the ball. Well done.
So Platten's sixth possession to Pritchard. Ground level. Winmar dispossessed. Good play by Crummell. Back to Taylor. Chips it to Salmon. To Graham, caught Nathan Burke. Great tackle. So, what Johnny Platten can do, I can do just as well, said Nathan Burke, and then finds Big Everett. 75 metres out, his target once more is going to be low. He needs a bounce. Quick snap. And it's out of bounds on the full.
A little bit adventurous there from Stewie. He really should have dragged it back towards the top of the square. Keep the ball in the game and give his teammates a chance. Yeah, unfortunately, I'd say a little bit selfish to have a ping from there.
It is important for small players, though, when you've got someone like Stuart Lowe, he won't be outmarked, and if the ball does hit the ground, you've got to get to the front of the pack to help him out. And this is where I think St Kilda, when you look at their record, they don't have a lot of crummers who kick goals. They've always relied on big guys.
Matthew Young has come onto the ground for St Kilda and just applied a very good tackle. Jones, Crawford. Crawford leads in the race and is away. Towards centre wing. At the back, Cripps has put in a very big pre-season. Jason Cripps. Aussie Jones in trouble. Deep trouble. Crawford may make him pay. He gives it across to Shane Stevenson. Has a look down forward. Inside 50. In towards Dunstall. Couldn't take it cleanly. Crummell gets caught. Is able to get it clear, however. Taylor, a short little chip on towards the 50. Nathan Burke is there and he takes the mark for St Kilda. Waste no time. Trianides has come onto the ground. Plays on towards Matthew Young. They're the two changes that St Kilda have made in recent moments. Trianides again. Now Peckett. And Justin Peckett steadies. Goes from centre wing towards Everett. Was the first to recover, and the big man did well, but he gets one hand held. It was a beautiful tackle, and the ball could only spill from his hand.
Yeah, another example, Kevin, exactly what you're talking about. The contest of the big man, still not young players in there to cover the crumbs.
So Burke around the corner. Aussie Jones has got a turn of speed. Runs the 50. Kicks a poor one. Great play by Platten, who got a hand to it. Comes back to Joel Smith. Quick snap. Has he kicked a goal? He has. So Hawthorn by 2 points. Salmon doing very well at the centre bounce. This is where he can be a tremendous player, I think, Salmon, with that height. I know there's a lot of talk about shepherding in the ruck, but I would think that guys like Salmon and Madden, the new rules should help him around the ground. Saw the free kicks there as Harvey. Hawks caught. Has the numbers there. Down to low, in front. Good punch way by Holland. Now that's great roving by Aussie Jones. That's what St Kilda needs, the front of the pack. And we've got a boundary throw in.
Keeping an eye on Andy Collins behind the plate. He's wearing Harvey like a glove. Great to see, though. Salmon, Everett, the flick from behind. Is the kick going to be okay? Well, suddenly they're back in it. And Aussie is the one doing it. Aussie Jones has his first 2 goals in as many minutes. And St Kilda hit the lead at 3-6 to Hawthorn's 2-8.
And the ironical part is that it's the small players. This is the combination that I'm sure that Stan Ells will be working to get more and more often throughout the season. His 2 talls, Lowe and Everett, I thought, were giving the targets in the first part of the game, in the first quarter, but the small players just weren't in amongst it. Now we've had Joel Smith and now Aussie Jones both be able to jump in and complete the piece of work.
4 points to the margin. St Kilda leads. Biddevig has a free out of the centre, and St Kilda through Winmar go charging towards Lowe again. They've come to life, the Saints. Everett's down in the square and he says head over the top. Lowe kicked one in the first quarter. Has had a couple of other shots, but they were somewhat optimistic. Kicking from 48 metres. Lovely kick.
Saints by 10 points. Biddevig this time gets his fist to the ball. McGuinness trying to crash through. Winmar over the top. Does well to Keogh. Another chance for the Saints. Holland in front of Lowe this time. Does well. And the kick out wide puts Platten under a lot of pressure. Joel Smith, tremendous mark by this youngster. Gets it back to Trianatis. Kicks in where Lowe takes the mark. Well, it was good play. We see McGuinness there, young Trianitis there, North Melbourne Reserves last year, picked up in the draft, and that was a great centering kick.
It's remarkable, isn't it? So much young talent just keeps coming up, and what's so exciting for the St Kilda club is that there's a whole lot of them out there wearing red, black and white here tonight, and young Jason Trianitis being able, in very good peace of mind, to be able to slot the ball back across, and Stuart Lowe again in front.
Stuart Lowe's booted 2 goals. One in the first quarter, and he's kicked one in this second turn. Should kick his third here. 25 metres out, directly in front, and he has. So all of a sudden, the Saints, with Lowe starting to dominate at full forward, and their youngsters, you mentioned them, Terry, particularly Joel Smith and young Aussie Jones there, crumbing and doing quite well. That was great play then by the youngster.
It certainly is. And what's most impressive about the Saints here tonight is that they're quite prepared to share the ball around and do it so quickly. They're going with their instincts, quick hands, quick disposal by foot when it's necessary, and that ability to be able to do it quickly that gives the opportunities up forward.
Floodgates suddenly opening for St Kilda in a burst, and they try to go into attack again. Trianitis was there, originally from Shepparton United, but it's now Platten. And he gives it away to Gibson, who will hopefully steady for the Hawks. Shannon Gibson runs his full distance, goes from 50. It's a good-looking kick by Shannon Gibson. A fine piece of play. Nicky Winmar seems to have a little bit of a problem as the magic spray comes out, and Shannon Gibson heads back to his post after an inspiring passage of play. Platten gets caught at the bottom of the pack. Play goes on, however. Richard Taylor's on the ground for Hawthorn. Up towards half forward. Anderson, the effective spoiler, then goes in over the top, losing his footing with Shane Stevenson for a moment. Out comes the football to Pritchard. He's inside 50. Now it's the Hawks' turn, but this time he's off target to the right. So after a flurry by St Kilda, Hawthorn looking to peg them back. And we've got just over 8 minutes remaining in the first half here at Waverley. First round match in this Ansett Cup, the winner to go on and play Adelaide, who steamrolled Melbourne, particularly in the second half at Football Park last night. Peckett brings it back in, going short to Rod Keogh. He looks to have lightened off over the summer to Nathan Burke. Always a fit-looking character. Fine steadying mark by Raymond Jenkins. In the veteran class now is Jenke. He's got Kapler out wide, another veteran, but a recruit at the club. That stab passes like a bullet. But it's a little too quick for the man it was intended for, Jason Taylor. And a little wide. So a throw in Hawthorn's left half forward zone. They're in attack. They're down by 9 points, so not a lot in it. As Peckett goes back towards the centre. A floater. An opportunity for Smith. To Lowe. Plays on to Widmer. The excitement machine for St.Kilda. Single a goal.
Game certainly has gone up a notch in the last 10 minutes. Widmer and Lowe, a couple of the old stages combined with a couple of youngsters for St. Kilda, starting to apply the pressure. And a bit of early season hustle and bustle taking place.
Let's hope that's all it is for the club's sake.
Umpire David Howlett says, Matthew Young, you take the free kick, son. I'll break this up very quick, smart.
Yep. Way to go.
So the former Hawk, playing his first game with his new club, kicks to his old teammate Marcus Graham, who called him. He said, Youngie, kick it to me. Kicks it out wide. Pritchard. Got a good bounce, so they've got loose players everywhere now. Crawford kicks to space, looking for Dunstall. Just couldn't take it on the half volley. Crumble back to Stevenson. He can kick a goal. Twice I've said it, twice he's let me down.
Got to tell you something, MKB.
He'd be pretty disappointed. Started his career with Fitzroy. Been a pretty handy pickup. Pickett's done very well tonight as the designated kicker. Usually finds his target. Takes his time. He's been warned a couple of times. Finds Bardsley. Gives the ball back. You see Cripps. Transfers it back across the face of goals to Shanahan. Feeds it off to Anderson, who just kicks it virtually straight up in the air. Trianitis. How do we pronounce this young boy's name?
Jason Trianitis.
Trianitis.
Originally from Shepparton United, and then, of course, from the North Melbourne supplementary list.
We don't want his family ringing up saying that we're not saying his name correctly.
On the centre wing. St. Kilda have had a winning quarter. Young takes it from Jones towards Everett, who slides to the football inside 50, but he doesn't hold it. Now it's up to the youngster to see if he can do it. Joel Smith, he's got to beat a couple of them. Jenke's one at the bottom of the pack. Out the back door it comes. It finishes with Smith again. Shoots in towards goal, but he's away to the left and one behind.
I can just see the St. Kilda interstate trips and the rooming arrangements. Peter Everett with Joel Smith, Stuart Lowe with Austin Jones, and don't ever leave each other's sides. That's what needs to be developed here with St. Kilda. I think Stan's just about got it right here tonight.
Hawks making a change as Gibson brings the ball back into play. Everett doing the crumbing on this occasion, gives it to Widmer, who had it spent before he got it. Fine tackle by Platten, spills free to Graham. Hawthorn out of trouble. Up towards Hargraves on centre wing. Tim Hargraves round his body, but not far enough for the likes of Jason Dunstall. And it's over the line. On the full. So St. Kilda to bring it back. Shanahan to do the kicking towards Widmer, who's certainly come into things in this quarter. Look at that. The skillful pickup. The delivery across centre wing. St. Kilda looking to charge down to the forward line. A slight hesitation there, though. Could prove very costly. That was well played by Hawthorn's Daniel Chick. He had to beat three and did it well. Pritchard. Again in towards Dunstall territory. Nipping in front but unable to take the mark was Bardsley. Shanahan helps tidy up.
He finds Keogh across half back. A pretty handy player tonight to Burke. It's his 13th possession. Below playing in front, Joel Smith. Touch of class from this youngster. To Everett. Great body work. No, says the umpire. So McGuinness to Pritchard. Plenty of time to take a casual bounce. And then find Gordon Fode, who's playing against his old side tonight. You and I were pretty strange, Terry. We played with the one club. Across the Collins. Here's a chance. Ball kick to Dunstall. He's got a chance to run onto it. Needs a good bounce. Very unselfish play by Dunstall to Hargraves.
Pretty strange. I'd say you're a rare breed to play 403 games with one club.
Daniel Hargraves has kicked the goal for Hawthorn. Tim, I should say. I think with your Footscray counterpart there,
The
Terry.
one you had.
Right after it.
And a poor kick.
Just over 3 minutes, KB, remaining in this first half. And this time it's Anderson, a former Hawk, kicking it.
Not something you see all that often, is it? Johnny Platten rising up there.
Oh, he loves it.
And the poor bloke doesn't even get a chance to have a kick.
And he's lost it. Well, the free kicks have certainly gone the way of Hawthorn so far tonight. In fact, it's been the reason for the ironical cheers from St.Kilda fans, and particularly in the second quarter. Anderson gets underneath the drop punt. It's high in towards the middle. A big pack of players. Winmar's waiting down in front. Ducked his head. Got through. Then poked the handball over the top to Burke. Another one and they're down towards the 50. This looks dangerous as Bardsley gets underneath a kick that's high. Not very pretty. Into full forward. Everett backed into the pack with courage. Couldn't quite take the mark. And as he comes up with a football, the end result will be a bounce. Maybe.
He has some upsetting qualities about him, I think, Peter Everett.
Well, of course, Big Carl or number 10. And he wasn't backward in coming forwards. Kapler gets a hurried kick. Back towards centre wing. Towards Stevenson. On his hammer is Christian Bardsley. Well done by Bardsley. In the end, over the line.
Sandy, yes, I think Bardsley's done very well in defence here tonight. He's had Stevenson, and Stevenson hasn't been able to have that much of an impact on the game, and he's always played in front. He's been quite aggressive in the tackling. It's been a fine performance today.
Cromwell comes on for Hawthorn. Taylor goes off. Salmon down to Hargraves, paddles along in front. Bardsley once more chips in. Aussie Jones for St. Kilda. Shane Crawford on screen. So Vidovic versus Salmon in the ruck. No shepherding there. Smith for St. Kilda, ground level, kicks it off the ground. Graham takes the mark. Can kick right foot Terry, as Terry Will indicates. Critical of him before, not kicking with that right boot. Anderson gets it out to Wakeland, to Winmar, who's been absolutely starring in this second term to try and need his centre wing position. And Stewie Lowe can't take on the second grab. Burke at ground level. Chance for Everett. He's got the box.
Oh,
Good mark, Peter Everett. And he just looks so much of an improved player too, Terry. Even in going for that mark, just a bit of poise about him.
It was a great degree of poise and balance in the jump. I think he has. He's refined his body shape. Got rid of a lot of the puppy fat, looking very strong and athletic at the moment.
So, and he finishes it off with a goal.
An excellent second quarter by St. Kilda. Hawthorn's kicking, letting them down. 7-7 plays, 3-10. 7 out of the middle. But it's St Kilda again through Anderson. A bad bounce for Lowe. Harvey tried to belt it on. It was unsuccessful. Holland's hand pass over the top. Well, eventually it found its mark in Daniel Chick. His kick is high towards the outer side. Winmar applies the tackle on Crummell. It's a beauty. What a quarter from Nicky Winmar. But what a player. Up towards centre wing. Lowe tried to come over the top. Socket off the ground by Jason Trianides. Seconds only remaining in the first half. St Kilda will take a lead into the third quarter. Lowe and Salmon. Keogh has plenty of support. Good spoil from behind. Pritchard has a chance for Hawthorn. They've got time. No, they haven't. Half time here at Waverley Park. Stephen Zillard in picture. Hawthorn will be disappointed with that scoreline. 3 goals, 10 at half time. And St Kilda, who have moved along to 7-7 with a 6-goal quarter. Stuart Lowe now has 3, but good contributors in that second quarter were Joel Smith, Nicky Winmar and Peter Everett. Also Aussie Jones got amongst the goals. And St Kilda have a handy lead at the long break. They're 7-7 of 49, 21-point leaders over Hawthorn, 3-10-28. And what sort of influence do you think Rucks coach Don Scott would have had on Paul Salmon since he's come into the club?
Oh, look, I think it'll be very good work there. I think the relationship there, Scotty and Paul Salmon, will be excellent, but probably the more important relationship will be between Paul Salmon and John Platten. Those two very fine senior players, the Fitch and the Rat. Let's see what they can concoct during the season.
Okay, well, just about set to go. Second half here at Waverley. The margin is 21 points. The winner will go on to meet Adelaide in a quarter-final, and that will be no easy task. Still very warm here at Waverley. There's Laser Vidovic. Paul Salmon. 2 men will do battle in the middle. As we start the second half, 3-10 plays 7-7. Vidovic wins it. Winmar belts it on towards Everett. He needs someone going past. He's got Joel Smith, but he's in trouble. Back to Winmar again. Now Nathan Burke. Burke's kick is high, up towards the 50-metre line. Hawthorn have the numbers. And a free kick as well, to be taken by Kapler. One of their prize recruits. Kapler goes to the outer wing, and he finds Tim Hargraves. Well, the Hawks want the first couple if they're going to make a really strong challenge to St Kilda. Platten gives them a chance, goes in towards Dunstall and Shanahan. The latter is an effective spoiler. Vidovic got caught, lost the football. Dunstall asked the question of the umpire regarding Shanahan. Not to be.
And a fair question too, because of the way in which Jamie Shanahan was hitting the ball, there was no way it was going to come out.
Yes, I don't think he had many intentions of getting rid of the ball there, Terry, as we see Burke. Quick kick out of the pack. Winmar. Both been outstanding players tonight for the Saints. Crawford's been equally as good for Hawthorn. So the Hawks under pressure. Wakeland kicks it off the ground for the Saints. Smith with a touch of class. Wins the ball in front of Gibson. To Lowe. Inside 50. Well trapped. Kicks to the square. Trianides there, but punched through by Graham.
Stuart Lowe was able to step around there and get away a little bit too easily, I thought, from Nick Holland. Nick, technically the younger and fitter man, should have been able to trap Lowe right on the boundary line.
22 points the margin. There was Holland, who gives it away towards Gibson. Has a bounce as he lopes clear. chops away Joel Smith and then puts it down towards Stevenson just outside 50. He's got Dunstall and Shanahan in the square alone. Here they come. Dunstall out on the lead. Not a good kick, but he flicks it across beautifully towards Crawford, who stabs in towards goal. But it was a very, very tight angle, and he couldn't thread it.
Quick hands there from Dunstall. Whether it was a throw, he had it all covered, but he was nice and quick and gave his side a real chance.
Burke a chance from the back pocket. Well done. Across to Trianitas. To centre wing. Everett beaten on that occasion and taken over the line by McGuinness.
Just harking back to Stevenson's kick there, it was a poor kick, Terry, to Dunstall because he was out in front, and Hawthorn of old would have hit Dunstall on the chest, and that's the areas where a certain Ken Judge is going to try and work on. Try and get this Hawthorn machine backfiring. Flatten, who's tried very hard tonight. Keogh's been his opponent. They've had a very, very good duel. So centre wing position, the Saints. Tremendous second quarter with 6 goals to 1. Collins. Now Hawthorn should take control here. Bardsley did well. Stevenson for the Hawks. Here's a left footer. Back towards the centre of the ground. Zilla. Ball punched on. Chance for Hawthorn. Harford. 65 metres out. He's got a loose player in young Hargraves, and he will shoot from inside 50.
There seems to be a little bit more of an air of desperation about the Hawthorn work, particularly in the boundary line here where it was kept alive and Stevenson able to step around and set this piece of work up. Foe there, swinging it across and half a million quickly, but they look a little bit more edge in their game at the moment.
So Hargraves from a very, very tight angle pops it through.
A special Grand Prix carton of Foster's cans could win you double passes, caps, calendars, and a chance to arrive at the track by helicopter on race day. You'll spend time in the pits, have lunch in a corporate box before settling into your VIP Gold Pass seats. Grab a slab of Foster's commemorative cans and get a real taste of the Melbourne Grand Prix.
The margin now back to 15 points thanks to Tim Hargraves' second goal for the match. And a free kick is going to go the way of Hawthorn. They'll go into attack again. Certainly had the better of the free kicks. Graham from the defensive side of centre heads towards the 50. That is a very good, strong one-grab mark by Taylor. Under plenty of pressure. The lead's on. The mark is a sensation from Dunstall.
You want 2 strong ones, Sandy? You've got them. Tremendous. Taylor strong above the head with his hands, but then Dunstall with Shanahan right there, hugging the ball.
Just the one goal for Jason Dunstall so far tonight. But an important kick just to make the margin just 9 points. And he's done it. They're back in town, the Hawks. 2 to Jason Dunstall. And it's 41 plays 50.
9 points now the difference, and in such a short space of time, Hawthorn have really worked themselves back into the game. Their midfield starting to win some ball in the centre of the ground. But again, here it is now. Jason Dunstall, really the icing on the cake there. A strong mark and a regulation 35-metre drop punt for goal.
So the Hawks answering the challenge. Salmon wins the tap. Crawford on top of it for Hawthorn. Pritchard. Winmar on top. Desperate now inside the centre square. Young Harford. Fantastic take. Plenty of space on the Hawthorn forward line. Poor kick by Harford, but Lux of fortune hits Kepler on the chest. The Hawthorn players are playing further up the ground, allowing Dunstall room to lead now, Terry.
Yes, they are. They're creating that space, and it's still just the one avenue to goal, but just at the moment they've structured it up well.
So Kapler take his best kick. He's right on 50. Vidovic punches it through.
Now it's very hard to be critical from this position, but Paul Salmon propped himself in centre half forward looking for a short one when a man of his stature should be down in the goal square where he can encourage a contest. If he had been there, I'm sure he would have marked that only 2 metres out.
Might be an option that the Hawthorn players have to get used to, with Salmon drifting down, because he's a great goal kicker himself. Peckett. This time, that's his first mistake tonight. Looking for Shanahan. So Gordon Fode drops it in short. Crawford either take the mark or pay the free kick. He's paid the free for the push. So Hawthorn all of a sudden look revitalised.
You just see here how Barnsley had his back on against the ball and interfered there with Crawford, who was going to take the mark.
So Crawford elects to run around. That's clever play, and drills it.
Whatever Ken Judge did say at half-time, it certainly has had an effect. 2 points the margin. Winmar. Out of the middle goes St.Kilda. Still with Nicholas Winmar. Almost down to the 50. Winmar's looking to carry it just about all the way. Loses it. Everett's tackle was too high. It wasn't a good tackle.
Now that's where the big fella lets himself down. Sometimes he's very untidy in that particular aspect of his game. Needs to bend, get down around the hips.
And so Darren Pritchard will kick clear towards the half-back flank. Harford's kick is wide, out of bounds on the full. The Saints will get another chance. Almost marked by Dipper then. Darryl Wakeman from centre wing. In towards the 50, towards Lowe, and those huge hands enable him to hold up the football and maybe set something up. Goes short. And effective. Good mark taken by Jason Trionitis.
Shows a great degree of balance, doesn't he? Huge raps coming into this February draft, and the young boy who'd spent a lot of time at North Melbourne on their supplementary list, member of the premiership side there last year, and half expected to be picked up by North Melbourne, but St.Kilda have done well to snare him.
So Trionitis going for his first and a steadier for the Saints. They certainly need it, and he's done exactly that.
Stan Alf certainly would be very happy with Trionitis' performance tonight. Just picked up in the draft and has got talent. Keogh out of the square. Here come the Saints. Inside 50. Everett. Well, this is what Stan Alves would be looking for, the St. Kilda players to respond. Lowe is booted 3. So Everett has been a goal kicker tonight. The goal in the second term. Right on 50. Starting to swing back. Lowe. Too good, too big. And kicks a goal. No, must go back and kick over the mark.
Well, confidence is a marvellous thing, and Stuart Lowe certainly has that. He has worked from behind for the majority of the evening, but when you can get up and when you've got the hands the size that that man has got, perhaps you are able to have a bit of a dip it from behind.
Well, Stewie Lowe kicks his 4th goal. So he's kicked goals in every term. Stan Alves just looking on, not that excited at this stage.
Well, this is actually, in fact, it's Slowe's 10th mark for the game, and he's had to go at quite a few more. Look at that, the ball did not even move. Once it hits those big hands, it's held there, and 4 goals, 10 marks. The full forward position for this player has been a very good return here this evening.
Hawthorn's early charge in this third quarter has been held by St Kilda with 2 answering goals. Burke at the bottom of the pack, almost taken high. No one able to get it out, so we'll have another bounce. Kicks this quarter going with the Hawks. They made all the play early on in the term. Umpire got in the way on that occasion of Christian Bardsley. Salmon had it, lost it. Platten comes in to assist in a lightning hand pass out to Graham, but he's well claimed. Well, an interesting one that has upset St Kilda supporters.
Well, Tony, that's a new rule they're trialling here. He was tackled and then did get it out with a handball or a kick, in that case a handball, so it's correct ruling.
To the half-forward flank, Anderson defends. Pushed wide, Harford's hand pass is smothered. He may get a chance to go in again. Daniel, he does. Around the body, a high kick. Here comes at Dunstall, but it's belted clear and fisted over the line by Jason Cripps. Is that Keogh in trouble behind?
Yep.
Play, looks as though it could be. Well, let's hope it's not a knee.
One of the most unfortunate parts of this pre-season competition that each year we seem to see a player going down and coming off in this fashion. It's interesting that the rules for this competition now address the use of the stretcher for coaches. There's a bit of a feeling that coaches were using it as a ploy to hold play up, and this certainly isn't the case in this instance. But if this was a ploy, the player isn't allowed to come back on for another 15 minutes. And there's the contact there. Just going down there. The right knee, a little bit of a twist.
He doesn't appear to be in great distress at the moment. Of course, it's so difficult to tell. One would doubt whether we'll see Rod Keogh back in action tonight.
No, you wouldn't risk it. No. I mean, even if the medicos assist that he is okay and can go on in the after the 15-minute interval, I don't think Stan Ellis as the coach would warrant that risk with a player who's been playing so very well and is an important player as we approach the main season.
Well, Dipper's down there on the sideline. I'm sure he'll bring us up to date. As you can see, they're just holding and balancing that left knee. So Keogh off, and Glenn Coughlin comes back onto the ground. So after a hold up in play, we'll have a throw in with Salmon doing the work. A little chip into the pocket. Oh, Dunstall almost got there, and look how quickly he recovers. Bounces up like a tennis ball.
That's what I love about that guy. He never pauses to allow the ball to bounce. He'll have a go at anything and be able to trap it as soon as he possibly can.
Just inspirational, Jason Dunstall, and wonderful leadership qualities. Peckett just pokes it down the top, from the top to Bardsley, and away he goes. One bounce, and he's quick. Look out. 2 through the middle. Has a look up towards 50 and goes inside it. And Peter Everett can't take it. It's socked off the ground by Young. That's a goal. Matthew Young.
Saints back to a 20-point lead. Bardsley seems to have found his niche in defence after being moved there late last year. Burke kicks off the ground once more. The Saints into attack. This time we see Crummell. Gibson taking the mark. Up to Taylor. It's been strong in front tonight. Couldn't take it on this occasion. Kicked off the ground by Wakeland. Good play by Harvey to try Needies. He looks a likely prospect. Great skills. So big Peter Everett. He's hard up on the boundary line, but he's on his preferred side, being a left footer. So he can run around here and open up the face of goals. The goal in the second term. And standing start, straight across the face for 1 point.
He's certainly being able to act this evening as a perfect foil for Stuart Lowe. Between them, they've intermixed between centre-half forward and full forward, but Everett been doing the majority of the work at centre-half forward and being quite mobile, being prepared to push wide when it was necessary, but also giving a straight line option for St Kilda down through centre.
A wobbly old punt kick in by Gibson, and Winmar just chipped in and taken the mark. Now he's on 50. He might just drill this back straight over his head.
He's kicked one. He can kick a ball.
Distant first for the Saints last year. Drop punts on its way. The distance is there, not the accuracy. It's been tremendous tonight, Winmar. We see there Crummell ready to come back on for the Hawks.
8 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Nick Holland takes the kick in. And this is 5th pre-season match. Winmar may have another crack at it. Well played. He keeps it in play. Young again gets the hand pass away. These young Saints taking all before them at the moment. Trianitas had an area though. It went straight through. Burke at the bottom of the pack is good. Trianitas again claims Platten. Coming over the top is Young. They pounce upon it. Look at them. Like seagulls over a leftover sandwich, KB. Laser Vidovic wins it, but who can take it away? Joel Smith attempted to and almost caught one for his trouble. It's high towards 50. Smith again. Burke had it, but then lost it. Young goes in strongly. Burke over the top. Jenke at the top of him. Now, Rod Keogh, Dipper, what news do you have on him?
Well, Sandy, as expected, they took him straight to the tunnel, and the doctors have said it is a knee injury, but how bad we don't know as yet.
St Kilda by 22 points. Thank you, Dipper. And it may be more in a minute if Barnsley can get clear. He can't, but Young can. Chips in towards full forward. Low again, working from behind. Who's going to do the crumbing? It's Zilla. They soccer it out of his hands. Back towards the half-back flank for Hawthorn. They're still going. This is Chick. And he clears to the outer side towards Jason Taylor.
So it's been a tremendous second half of this quarter, Terry, with St Kilda answering the challenge. You made a point of saying that it was a good test for the St Kilda players, with Hawthorn bouncing out with those 3 quick goals. So can the Hawks come back? Collins. The free kick is going to the Saints. Joel Smith started that avalanche for the Saints in the second term when he booted a great goal. Back towards centre-half forward into Everett territory. Burke, brilliant roving, and a brilliant pass to Stuart Lowe. So looking at Lowe tonight, quite capable of kicking 100 goals in the league season.
Well, this is another training drill. The drill's set up where you toss it in from the wing position. You have a contest at centre-half forward. You have your midfielders running down to rove it and your full forward leading. Without the witches' hats, it still looked great.
Crowd of 16,061 in attendance here tonight to see if Lowe can kick his 5th.
45 metres out. He likes it. 5 goals for Stewie Lowe.
28 points, the margin out to now for St Kilda as they look to storm into the quarterfinals and a clash with Adelaide. Here's Robert Harvey. Been pretty quiet by his lofty standards tonight. Good mark by Nick Holland, the second grab. Careful, Peter Everett.
He's been very persistent. They've played in front all the way, Nick Holland. Hasn't conceded that front position alone, so he's put extra pressure on him. Well done.
Led the marking averages last year against some very talented players. Cripps backing into the pack showed courage. Hargraves An excellent hand pass. Now an opportunity for the Hawks as Daniel Chick got the hand pass away. Out towards Dunstall it comes. Look at that recovery of Jason Dunstall. The hand pass was a ripper. Dunstall again. He sockers it clear. Graham could kick a goal. It's high. It's going to be close. In towards full forward, but just off target. One behind. But again, great work, Terry, by Jason Dunstall.
He's just so sharp just at the moment. The way in which he's attacking the ball, and as you've noted a couple of times, Sandy, his recovery. I mean, just to be up again, bang, and the ball actually comes back in. Foe couldn't handle it. Who's the next man in? It's Dunstall again. That's leadership. That's hard work for you.
And that's Peckett. To half back. Andy Collins. Speaking of tough nuts to crack. Harvey almost seems to be cruising, doesn't he? It's a delight to watch. Platten under pressure. Over the line. Throw it in.
66 to 1 for the Brownlow. Harvey might be worth $1.
66s, yes. But they'll be hoping that players like Nicky Winmar, and if Stuart Lowe's going to kick 100, will take votes from him. Long way to go, isn't it? Speaking of Winmar. And Harvey. And another one, Nathan Burke. They want the big guns all firing. And this young man has certainly made his presence felt. Oh, Young to Winmar. Winmar to Lowe. St Kilda fans will be in heaven watching this. Well, Stewie's taking it out on the Hawks in the last week or so, hasn't he?
6 goals in the Lightning Premiership, and now lining up to equal that tally with a 6-goal burst here now. St Kilda winning 6 of their last 9 games last year, got themselves on a roll and have lost no momentum through the summer.
This is the number 6 tonight. And that looks pretty good. That is number 6. 49 plays 82. And it's great to watch an athlete at work, but I tell you what, watching a team of footballers go is hard to beat.
It is. We mentioned Robert Harvey there a little bit earlier, but just in this particular play, you do see all the St Kilda stars involved. Lowe, Winmar, Nathan Burke, all involved in it. And Stan Ellis and his match committee have been able to really get a good group of players together.
And the Hawks have moved Salmon into the forward pocket, Crawshay into ruck, just trying to get something more out of their own forward line. So they need some quick goals now. Lowe's booted 3 goals this term. Winmar's continues to start. Anderson caught. Great tackle that time by Fogue. Chance for Hawthorn. Kapler couldn't quite handle. Chance for Fogue once more. Shovels the ball out to Holland, who's been moved down forward. Quick snap. Just the minor score. So Holland now has been moved off, and we've got Jason Taylor at fullback playing on Stuart Lowe. So Nick Holland there on screen, Norwich Rising Star winner for 1995. There's the move with Taylor back on Lowe. It's a big job. He's hot at the moment. Peckett this time kicks the ball long, but he's gone over the line for mine. Umpire David Howlett says, I'm going to bounce it. As Dunstall there looked like he was licking his hands there a little bit there, Dunstall, as we see the kick well over the line that time by Peckett. So this could be the bit of luck that the Hawks need. Salmon in the square. Can he get it down to one of the small players? No, Barsley, who has just been tremendous out of defence. He's got the foot flat on the accelerator. He's had 3 bounces. Now he decides he'll just tap it on the ground. Now the problem is making that decision when to kick it or handball it. And he didn't know what to do. Jones is caught. Good tackling. And for young Barsley, you've got to make a good decision.
You called it right well, Kevin, and because he messed up the centre half forward in Peter Everett, who led on the 3rd bounce and a little touch on the ground messed him.
Chick the Crawshay, who dropped an absolute sitter. Ozzie Jones says now, I'll go for a run, and that's what you should have done, Christian Barsley. Kicked the ball straight down to Big Everett. Got his hands on the Sherrin, couldn't take it. Try Needy's there at ground level. Joel Smith get an Oscar for that.
That was shades of Babe, wasn't it?
I didn't hear him talk. Trianides on screen with his hands on hips. I think Stan Alves and the match committee very happy about that. We see free kick maybe going here. We've got Hargraves having a confrontation there with Harvey, and he's got the free kick. Harvey doesn't like it. Hargraves loves it. Kicks it out wide to Collins. So plenty of space for Collins. He's looking for Dunstall on the lead. Good play by Vidovic coming across in front. That's what they've got to do to low at the other end. Harvey, oops, poor kick. Crawshay.
Still outside 50. Crawshay hooks the kick in towards half forward. It's going to be okay because Paul Salmon is there.
Good. I like the look of that. Whether they can afford to have Salmon down there, definitely lose a little bit through the midfield. But if they can have this second option down there, on this occasion, Salmon was able to push out to take the high ball, and Dunstall worked in behind, giving a second alternative. But then some things never change either. It's time for the kick.
27 goals in pre-season comp. And this is his 21st game. Can he kick his first for the night? Straight through the middle. So welcome to Glenferrie. Paul Salmon. 7-14, plays 12-10.
I think this is a great pickup by Hawthorn. Paul Salmon coming in. Yes, Stuart, I mean, he's able to ask that question. I think he's asking about that infringement between young Jason Cripps and Hargraves earlier on at the ball up around the ground there. Questioning the umpire's decision, I thought there was earlier interference from the Hawthorn player, and the umpire perhaps didn't see the full picture.
So that move of Salmon to the forward line has worked for Ken Judge. So a bit of weight being thrown around freely now, and the Saints get the free kick. Burke wants to get the ball moving quickly to Smith inside the square. Kicks a poor one. And Bardsley now has the job playing on Platten since Keogh went off with that knee injury, and the coaches decided to go down to the boundary line. Sometimes that's because you want to get close to the action. Other times it's because you've smashed the phone in the coach's box.
Speaking from experience.
That's a true story.
Here's a chance for Burke as precious seconds tick away for both sides in this quarter. Look at them scrambling after it. Bardsley out the back door. Christian shoots for goal. Has he done it on the siren? Got to score. He has. Christian Bardsley has kicked his first, and what a way to do it, right on the siren. So after that Paul Salmon goal, St Kilda answer.
And they've had the answers in this important third quarter, and the ball was pushed up. Bardsley right on the siren. Very quick use of the ball, being able to get the goal. And St Kilda, I mean, they're coming into an important huddle here now. They're able to answer the challenge that Hawthorn threw at them. Hawthorn with the opening 3 goals. Hawthorn then come back, St Kilda then come back to kick 5. Salmon gets 1, but then again they answer immediately. So a good quarter to St Kilda.
And it's interesting, St Kilda moving in 2 huddles. They've got one group of players on the right being spoken to, and another group on the left.
Well, the huddle on the right is their defence, because you've got Shanahan and Anderson there. So we've got Kelvin Moore there, the former great Hawk fullback, now chairman selectors down at St Kilda, taking charge of that particular group there. We can see Wakeland, now Stan Alves has gone across. And so they've got, in fact, they've got 3 huddles up there.
David Glascott also down there, so if you're not there, you're really left out of it. That's 3/4 time. The honours are with St Kilda, though. They lead 13-10. 88, that was a good quarter for them, booting 6. Hawthorn, 7-14, 56.
There'll never be a better game than the game we have today.
What happened here?
Sandy, a very interesting decision here by the umpire, where the free kick goes to the Hawthorn player after he really is the aggressor in this there, and the umpire gives it against the Kilda player, leading to Salmon's goal.
Okay, well, play's underway in this final term, and it's John Platten with a high kick up towards full forward. Salmon and Shanahan both there. Who's going to be the first to recover? Anderson in towards goal with Peckett. The latter takes it over for a minor score. Well, the Hawks are going to have to get a mighty wriggle on to get back into this game. Winmar has been sensational to watch tonight. And no doubt Stan Alves would be filled with optimism the way his Chargers have performed, and Terry have answered the challenges when they've come.
They have, Sandy, and you just mentioned Nicky Winmar. Some 24 disposals, 11 kicks, 13 handballs, and each one of them have really set up the next piece of play for St Kilda. He's been quite instrumental in the work tonight. The question is, can they keep it going in this final quarter? Winmar soccers off the ground, gives it across to Vidovic and on to Burke, and away they go. Burke stabs a pass beautifully down to the forward line, and look who's there, Stewie Lowe. From Nicky Winmar to Nathan Burke to Stuart Lowe. What price the trifecta there?
This for number 7. He's going to be kicking from 45 metres. It's a drop punt, and it sails straight through the middle. The Saints go marching on. 14-10 to 7-15.
I was just thinking there, looking at Stuart Lowe, and it must be a great personal triumph, I think, for Stan Alves' coaching. Not necessarily as a head coach at St Kilda, but the time he spent as a skills coach down there in the Kenny Sheldon's reign, and the amount of time that he spent with this man in terms of straightening up and fixing up what was a very, very awkward kicking action. And he's got into a stage now where he's a most accurate kick.
Well, Cripps there just trying to get the ball for the Saints, but Crawford at ground level, he's been a tough worker tonight for the Hawks. The Hargraves booted a couple of goals. Held there, he felt, not paid by the umpire. Harford, quick snap into the pocket. Coughlin marks in front of Salmon. They've done this pretty well tonight, the Saints. Finding a loose player, Cripps back to Coughlin. Sizing up their options. And Young, who's enjoyed his role with the Saints tonight against his former club. He's kicked a goal. Moves off the mark now. The umpire calls play on. Everett in front. So the two big marking forwards in Lowe and Everett have been very, very good tonight for the Saints. A lot of mobility for a big man. Trianides, indicating where he wants it to go. But this is the man they're looking for. Stewie's unstoppable. He's too big, he's too strong, and he's too good. Gives it across to the Saints, deep in the forward line. Trianides! Well, that's what Trianides said. He was pointing, he said, kick it to Stewie, then they'll kick it onto me in the square. It's a great debut for this youngster.
It was a great piece of play by Stuart Lowe, not messing around, going along towards the vacant square, and the three Saints all there, and they allow the young bloke to take it.
Well, he should kick his second goal. What a great start to this quarter for the Saints.
7 goals to Lowe, 2 to Trianides. They're showing the way for St Kilda as Collins tries to apply a tackle out of the centre for Hawthorn. But it's been all one-way traffic. Bardsley, head down, bottom up, and away he goes. Tries to soccer off the ground. It may get another chance. Looks to apply the tackle on Crummell and eventually over the line. Shannon Gibson kicked a goal in the second quarter, but he limps off there. Lowe palms it down to Harvey, to Nathan Burke. There's your trifecta. Look out! Christian Bardsley. Ping. Over the top of Everett. Young claim. The ball spills free and he's lost it. Back it'll go to Andy Collins, playing in his 17th pre-season game. Wants Platten. and finds him. Two of the veterans. He's playing in his 24th. But he's kicked it straight to Nicky Winmar. One of the best on the ground. Off to the loping Robert Harvey. Now Everett is alone if he can turn like the Titanic and promptly put it out of bounds. Pete, what have you done?
Certainly not happy with it, is he?
Gibson short to Pritchard. It's been mentioned they've won 6 out of their last 9, the Saints, last year, but I think it's fairly significant in the fact that they beat Richmond and Geelong, 2 preliminary finalists. So this form tonight may not be a surprise to the Brains Trust stand at Moorabbin. Stewie Lowe just hobbling a little bit, Stewie Lowe at the moment, and the runners out to him. See Stewie Lowe on screen limping there, doing the ruck work against Taylor. Still good enough to win on one leg. Platten at ground level. Short to Stevenson. Platten runs on. Stevenson elects to kick long. And Holland, he can mark very, very strongly. His kicking is one area that he really has to improve in. Kicks long, so it's one for the high flyers. Shanahan punches away from Dunstall. Crawford intercepts. Good hands to Hargraves. Goal number 3. No, kicks into his teammate. Now he'll kick it again. It's like a pinball machine. He's been at the point. What a comedy of theirs. Ken Judge was very animated at three-quarter time. I think he'd be pretty animated now too.
I'll tell you what's wrong with this is that Paul Salmon doesn't run out to Shepherd. He keeps running back towards the goal. For what reason, I have no idea. He should have come up, applied the Shepherd, given his teammate the room.
But he still should have kicked the goal and the rebound just the same. But, well, not Hawthorn's night tonight. There's Stewie Lowe. There's Stewie Lowe just having his back cracked.
Pritchard from outside 50. Can he make amends? Can someone make amends? Peckett will not allow it at the moment. He finds Nathan Burke tucked in the back pocket, who in turn finds Winmar. Over the top he goes to Stephen Ziller. Ziller towards Everett and Co. Oh, Peter Everett, he almost held it too. Graham's away, but there's got to be a St.Kilda free kick because Daryl Wakeland was held. So Wakeland goes into the middle to Ziller. He heads down to half forward. Salmon is there to try and backpedal it. He does so towards Jenke. Another one wider towards Daniel Chick, and now they're away. Taylor. Clear on the outer wing. Richard Taylor. Graham outside 50. Now on 50. Wobbles it up towards full forward. Kapler is there. Sees it over the line. One behind the end result for Hawthorn. And with some 13 and a half minutes remaining, it looks as though St Kilda will go into the quarterfinals and clash with Adelaide. That game will be played in Adelaide.
Saints by 41 points. Peckett to Vidovic. Pritchard. He's pretty happy with his efforts tonight. 17 possessions, 6 marks. Broken leg last year. Important player for the Hawks. Bourget and Vidovic. Burke, always working hard at ground level. Jenke was held. Collins, back to Taylor. Richard Taylor dispossessed by Winmar. Then the ball smothered. Burke once more. Great vision. Crosby Jones. And Everett on a lead. So the skills of St Kilda, and I think you mentioned it, Terry, have been very, very good since that opening term. Joel Smith. Chance for Big Stewie. Caught high. So he might be looking at kicking his 8th goal. Not too many better efforts in the Ansett Cup than 8 goals in a game. Said, look, don't hang on to my Cool Max jumper like that. It's brand new.
Actually, it's a good-looking jumper.
It's a terrific jumper, I think. Caught high quite clearly there. 14 marks. Phenomenal performance by Stewie Lowe. From 35 metres, he's kicked it.
Warm round of applause for Stewie Lowe. He's done his job tonight. 8 goals, an inspirational performance as Robert Harvey charges out of the centre, and Peter Everett can stand tall. He kicked a goal in the second quarter. And just as St.Kilda finished off the season well last year, Everett was one of the keys in those games. He had a very good finish to the year. That wasn't a particularly good finish. One behind. But a big game from him, big game from Winmar. 16-11, plays 7-17. Shannon Gibson sneaks back into play with a short one to Taylor. He heads towards the half-back line, belted over the boundary by Stephen Ziller. Throw in to take place. Stan Owls and Kelvin Moore. Neaton looked so worried so early on in the season. Trianides may get a chance here. Running on with the flight of the ball. He's claimed and he's nowhere near it. The ball has gone over. An exciting start for this young man. 2 goals to his credit, Jason Trianides, in the second half. The sting just having gone out of the game with St Kilda well and truly in control. Collins round his body, kicks up towards a centre wing. Holland almost caught one high in attempting to mark. It goes over the line, and maybe Ken Judge and Peter Schwab and co have a little more to be concerned about. Who knows?
They do, Sandy, just at this particular point in time, and really it hasn't been a performance to inspire any of the Hawthorn supporters, and they've got a bit to do before the start of the season.
Nathan Burke with his 31st possession tonight, so along with Stewie Lowe, he's just been outstanding. Trianides chicked in there for Hawthorn, number 27, the newcomer from East Fremantle, started on the interchange bench. Shane Gibson for Hawthorn on the bottom of that pack. Christian Bardsley, who's been very good tonight. Kicked a terrific goal for the Saints right on the three-quarter time siren. Done some great work out of defence.
Oh, look at this.
Burke runs into the open goal and misses a sitter. Been a wonderful player for the Saints. Jenke to bring the ball back into play. The Hawks weren't impressive during the Lightning Premiership, and even though sides are not at full strength for that, but I think Ken Judge would be pretty disappointed with the performance of his team tonight, particularly after they came out after half-time and had those 3 quick goals, had some momentum up, got within a few points, but from that moment on the Saints have been far too good. Look at Everett. Just trips the light fantastic there and gives it to Bardsley. Well, this kick will test him. He'll be kicking right on 50. Started his career at North Melbourne. Great kick. Fantastic kick by Christian Bardsley. He's drilled it.
2 goals to Christian Bardsley. 2 to Trianides and 8 to Stuart Lowe. Kapler tries to fist it away from the middle. Stephen Ziller goes in over the top. Stevenson at the bottom. And a bounce to take place. Corshade comes off the ground. Tim Hargraves is back on. Trianides does the shepherding work and eventually gets a socket down towards Everett and straight onto his chest. Well, it's all one-way traffic, KB.
They've been very impressive, I think, the Saints tonight. Paul Hudson there in the stand. So the Hawks missed him tonight. Got a broken toe, his goal-kicking ability.
Well, they've kicked only 3 points in this final term. Everett leans back on this one and makes no mistake. That's his second, and it's becoming a bit of a rout. 18-12 plays 7-17.
And so the Saints now looking towards Football Park in Adelaide next week in the second round of the Ansett Cup. And they'll take much out of this game, and I think they can go over there with a great degree of enthusiasm. But also what they'll be taking over there is a great degree of skill and a team playing that really has got something going for it. A good mix, Everett and Lowe and the Smalls in the forward line, Burke and Winmar in the midfield, Shanahan controlling defence.
Vidovic to Trianides. But this time reading it well is Gibson. But caught by that man Nathan Burke. Zilla's in there. Platten has had to work hard for his kicks tonight. Ground level once more. Zilla pumps the ball back. Big Everett. Chance for Chick. So once more he kicks the space, and running onto the ball is Taylor. Richard Taylor up towards Dunstall, but he had to stop. Made it easier for Shanahan to spoil, and Smith happy to just take the ball over. There was a time when the Hawthorn machine was well oiled that the ball was always in front of Jason Dunstall, never had to change stride, never had to slacken his pace if you go at the ball really hard. There was an example there where the ball popped up in the air too much and made it easy for Shanahan. Hargraves, who's had a little spell on the interchange bench, even though he's kicked a couple. 2 against 1, too much even for Dunstall. Winmar, pinpoint accuracy to Zilla. Gives it back to Winmar.
He's fit. He's still running flat out, Nicky Winmar.
Look at Burke. He's not bad either.
No. And he's doing it without a headache tablet. Taylor punches the ball away. Hargraves to Platten. And the big fish takes a mark inside 50.
But Burke is coming off. To the applause of the crowd. It's been a very good game by him, Terry.
It's sensational. It really dominated in where it was hard and in close, and being able to set the play up for the running players around him, a good combination.
So Paul Salmon is looking to become the first Hawk to score a goal in this final term. Having added just 3 points, while St.Kilda's booted 5 goals, Salmon has pulled that to the left in going for distance and has finished up with a behind. That's their 4th for the quarter. Just under 7 minutes remaining. Peckett to bring it back into play. Always takes plenty of time. You must consider too, KB, that Beveridge, Elliott, Wakeland and Sirakowski have got to come back if they can get back into this side. Here's a chance now for Dunstall from Crawford, and he goes.
Early days for Hawthorn, not for St. Kilda. Vidovic. Pritchard for the Hawks to Graham. So he's got the big fish on a lead in front.
Yep.
A free kick.
Yeah.
Going to Salmon over the top.
Yeah, umpire David Howlett showing it there as they went to ground. Young Glenn Collins come over the top and definitely pushed the player in the back, and so definitely warranted. Here he takes the front position, And we'll see as they both go to ground, you know, just that there. That's just untidy football from Coghlan there.
Kicked a goal in the third term, Paul Salmon. He had that rest on the forward line, and Crawshay came on into the ruck. Still having a spell on the forward line. About 45 metres out. And he's missed. Look at that, he said. Paul Salmon's just missed. Can you believe it?
8-19. Plays 18-12.
He was asleep until Paul missed that.
Woke him up. The Hinds do that.
His mum just kicked the pram. That's what woke him up.
Zilla was screaming for it, and he doesn't let them down. So they go down towards Everett, but this time caught behind, and the safe mark taken by Jason Taylor. An excellent night for Peter Everett. Taylor goes short to Pritchard in the middle. He looks down inside 50 towards Dunstall. Didn't try to mark, just tried to push it towards his teammate there in Gordon Fode. In towards Salmon, unable to mark. Now St Kilda defence comes to work in the form of Nicky Winmar, who comes over the top of Jason Dunstall and forces it over the line for a throw-in. 14 kicks, 14 hand passes, and some very, very exciting play from Nicholas Winmar. Could have been in the back against Tim Hargraves. Back to Winmar again. Everett didn't quite stick. Now a chance for Chick. He runs his full distance. Kicks in towards half forward. Shanahan front spot and first to recover. Hurriedly onto the left boot. Wide to the outer side. Graham will be first to it. Hawks have it in their attacking zone, and Crawford's a chance to goal. 45 out and on a 45-degree angle. He's kicked one, I think. Has he? Yes. Shane Crawford gets his second. He booted one in the third quarter. And it is their ninth. 9-19 plays 18-12.
Well, Shane Crawford really has to take a leadership role this year with the Hawthorn side. 16 games last year, but ended up with a broken foot and seems now to have got himself over that injury and looking quite fit. But really did come back well. Ended up being equal runner-up in the best and fairest award. And a very skillful player, but now needs to add those real leadership qualities. And when things aren't going right, it needs to be riding their hard.
Here he is. Speak of the Devils. Gets the ball out to Kapler. On the ground is McLaren, Joe McLaren, down to Trianides. So they still keep producing the youngsters. St Kilda, Joel Smith, he's an old timer compared to those two. Kicks deep into the forward line, nearly a one-hander by Everett. Does very well. Gets the ball back to Bardsley, fends off his opponent and kicks a goal. Sensational play, Christian Bardsley.
And what play by Everett.
Yep.
Well, the big fella, the big number 10 for St Kilda. Christian Bardsley picking up his third goal, but really just as a result of the work of big Peter Everett. Here, just gets the left hand in to keep the ball alive, then not allowing to go over the back, taking it, and then whoop, out it goes, just enough. And Bardsley's there, good strength from Bardsley being able to fend off the tackle. But when you have a man at the size of Peter Everett who's prepared to initially work in the air and then just as quickly get down to ground level, you've really got something to work with.
19-12 plays 9-19. Big winners, the Saints tonight. Socket out of the middle and a chance for them to go forward again. Joe McLaren comes from a dairy farm near Koroit. You won't be thinking about the milking at the moment. As they drifted down towards Trianides, he tumbles over the line. Hawthorn fans have left Waverley, but St Kilda supporters wanting to cheer their heroes off the ground tonight, one feels. And are waiting for that final siren that they'll hear in just over 3 minutes' time.
During the week, Stan Alves, in reference to the winning streak towards the end of last season where they won 6 out of 9, thought the younger players started to understand what he was asking, and they've certainly come up and been able to present again the Stan Alves pattern of play here this evening.
Hargrave's kick goes towards Taylor, and he goes towards the boundary line.
It's quite exciting, isn't it? When you see a side that's got some tremendous players, Winmar, Lowe, Burke, but now being able to readily introduce so many fine young players, it certainly sends a tingle down your spine.
Yes, Everett in that class as well. And Aussie Jones, let's not forget him. His kick is high, and it's marked by Kepler. A quiet second half, but, well, he hasn't been the only Hawk who's been tame in this second half. Taylor marks, pulls it round his body, goes up towards the half-forward flank region. Crawshay back on the ground, takes the mark. The lead comes from Dunstall. With him is Shanahan. Winmar's at the back and is quite prepared to tidy up, and does so very effectively. Finding McLaren. He drifts it back towards Young. Good mark in opposition to Ray Jenkins. Plays on. And away they go again. Down towards the right half-forward flank. Bardsley marks. Pops it over the top to Young. He's on 50 from 48 metres. Young's kick is high. In towards Everett territory. Can't mark. Pushes it down in front. Harvey was there, but he couldn't take it. Collins clears. Goes towards the outer side, but St Kilda have got the numbers. Brown is there. Round he comes towards Everett. Couldn't mark. Again, pushed down in front. The snap towards goal looks pretty good. No, it's just off target. And one behind only. But they continue to pepper away. Joel Smith, well, he booted a goal in the second quarter and has just the one for the night. Maybe that'll be his lot with a minute and a half to go.
Gibson has got a chance to just kick it in the pocket here to loose player. It's Crummell. In on and off the ground. Trianides, the fly from behind, flatten at the back. Hasn't got much on, has to screw it around the body. Richard Taylor for the Hawks, kicks to open space. Getting there first was Kennedy for St Kilda. Safety first, kicks off the ground towards the boundary. Graham paddles the ball back, keeps it in play. And Hawthorn mount an attack. Chick tunnel balls it back through his legs. St Kilda, Brown. We're in the famous Danny Frawley number 2. Kennedy on the left boot for the Saints. Everett tries the tap on. Bardsley for St Kilda. Crummell. Hawthorn defence has been under fierce pressure since the first 10 minutes of that third term, when the Hawks came out with 3 quick goals. The Saints have just been outstanding. Patton back to Jenke. Short to Kepler. So Kepler with his raking left boot. St Kilda with the numbers, and Trianides with the ball to Cripps as the siren sounds to end a fantastic performance by St Kilda, who have kicked 19-13, 127 to defeat Hawthorn 9-19-73. Great display. We see Nicky Winmar there, great game. Joel Smith has been superb also, just in his second year of league football. And Tony Brown there congratulating Zilla, young Joe McLaren and Bardsley. A lot of young players, and I think you said before that let's go down to Dipper, because he's down there with Peter Everett.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Well, firstly, Peter, congratulations on a terrific win.
Yeah, thanks, but it was good to come out here first game, really, and to get a win on the board. It's good.
And yourself, your own form, obviously you've had a terrific pre-season.
Yeah, I put a bit of hard work into the weights and the hair and whatever else.
KB, did you hear that? Yes, it is real.
Yeah, no, we've had a good hard pre-season, and showed tonight that, we can do something.
How do you enjoy playing the full forward and centre forward role?
Yeah, me, Lowe and Coggo swapping, or new bloke down, Jason, yeah. No, it's good, you know, you get a rest at full forward, and no, it's good fun.
Now, tonight's win, it was a real team effort tonight. I mean, some of those young fellas have really come up.
Yeah, a few of them only got drafted on Tuesday and they're straight into the side. Jason and Youngie and all that, he played for Hawthorn last year and he's showed well tonight, so I think, you know, if we can put it all together, come on from here, be good.
Well, congratulations, mate, and keep going.
Thank you.
Yes, an excellent performance by Peter Everett and the St Kilda boys. Hawthorn, well, they've still got time to get things right and steady the ship before the season starts. But they'll be hoping that it won't be a long year as it was last year. Standing ovation for St Kilda as they leave the ground, because they are big winners here at Waverley tonight, going into the quarter-final. The final scoreline showing St Kilda 19-13, 127. Hawthorn 9-19, 73.